Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Sumukh. How are you?
Fine, ma'am. How are you, ma'am?
I'm also good, thank you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Moksha. We'll wait children for the others. Let them join, and then I'll be starting.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Good evening, Una.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Arab. Good evening. Okay, I think children, we can start turn on the videos now. Korea, Dhairya, Kriti, Sumukh, Moksha, Ayurija, Arab, turn on the video. Okay, so last time we have discussed about the difference between the hormonal, I think, hormonal mechanism and the nervous mechanism, right? And today we'll be starting with the structure of a neuron. Uh, how does the structure, what are the different parts of it? What are the different functions of the different parts. So all those things we will be discussing in the today's class. Let me share the screen. Okay, I think I should not share the screen. Before going to the next part, first of all, what is neuron? What is the other name of neuron? Anyone? Other name of neuron? Is there any other name of neuron? No idea?
Nerve.
Nerve is a half actually. One more word should also be there along with the nerve.
Nerve cell.
Very good answer. Yes, nerve cell actually. So this is one marker question for the board exam. What is the other name of the neuron? So either they will be asking you the neuron other name, which is nerve cell, or they can ask you the nerve cell other name, which is the neuron. So both means the same thing. If you read the word in the question paper, might be in the case-based study question, anywhere nerve cell. So it is neuron they are talking about. Fine. So both are same. Now, when we talk about the neuron, basically like how we have the brain in our body. So brain, cannot, they also need some kind of supply, right? Like electricity we have in our home. They also need a kind of connection. The wires will be there, the battery, the cell, all those things are there. Same way in our body also, there should be something so that the passage of the signals can become easy, right? And for that, the neurons plays a very, very important role. So what do? They will be taking the message from one side and they will be giving it to the brain. And the brain, in return, they will be giving the response in any kind of the action or the form, right? So they will be receiving and transmitting the signals to the different parts of the body. So it is vice and versa. They can give it to the brain and the brain will be in return giving it to the other parts of the body. Fine. So that is the main function. That is the main important function of the neuron. Coming to the structure of it, it has different parts, and these parts, the structure of neuron is very, 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 very important for the board exams. Every year for 3 marks, they ask this question. Either they ask you to draw the structure, either they ask you to, label A, B, C, D there, or either they can ask you to write the functions of the different parts of it. So it can be in any form of it, right? So we have to be ready with all the kind of the forms, whatever they ask for. Starting with the structure. Now, you might have seen actually that structure. It will be somewhere on the top, it will be round structure, and so many here like structures will be there, right? That center part is basically called as the cyton. Fine, the center small kind of a nucleus like structure will be there, and surrounding the nucleus will be the cytoplasm.
Cell
Fine,
body.
cell body. Is there anyone who knows what is the other name of the cell body? Dhriti, do you know? Ayunisha, do you know?
Ma'am,
And
cyton.
other, very good, cyton, Sumuk, very good, cyton. So the cyton is basically the word which is for the cell body, and this cyton has derived from the word cyto means cytoplasm, and N denotes there the nucleus. Clear? So that is how the word cyton has been come. Cyto is for the cytoplasm, and N there in the cyton is for the nucleus. That is why the whole center part of that neuron is called as a cyton or the cell body. Now, surrounding this cell body will be the hairs, like small, small branches coming out. And on from that branches, the sub branches will be coming out, which are called as the dendrites. Fine, they are called as the dendrites. Now, the main functions of the dendrites is to receive the information. So, whatever the information is there, they will be receiving it with the help of those dendrites. Fine, like if I say like we have a body, right? In our body, we have the skin. or we have the different sense organs. So those different sense organs, what do? They will be taking the thing. Now my eyes are accepting the colors which are present around me, right? Can my nose accept the colors? No, right? Same way, these dendrites, what do? They will be accepting the information, they will be receiving the information from the brain or from the other nerves. And then they give it to the cyton part. And from the cyton, they will be going to the next part, which is the small, long, thread-like structure called as the, what is the small thread-like structure present after the cyton?
Axon.
Very good, Suman. Axon, right? So axon is like, from the dendrites, they will be receiving from there, they will be giving to cyton. The cyton will be giving it to the axon. Now, this axon basically, they will have a kind of the covering around them. Fine. The axon, they will have the covering around uh, the axon. What is the name of that sheet? If children, you can turn on the video. We are not fighting here. We are not, seeing your face here. Just we are having the interaction. So kindly turn on the video. Why is this so much lazy kind of the class it is looking like? Ayunija, Huria, Aryan, Driti, Dharya, Sudhamshu, Rizwan, turn on the video. So there will be a kind of the sheet covering that axon. That sheet is called as the myelin sheet. Fine, that sheet is called as a myelin sheet. And that sheet, what does they do? They will be protecting us from the shock. So sometimes what happens, we touch accidentally any kind of you know, the sockets and all. Okay, there, yeah. Sometimes we touch the socket, sometimes we touch the wire, but we do not get the shock. It is because of that myelin sheath. That myelin sheet will be absorbing the complete shock and will be protecting us from the shock. And that is why that myelin sheet is called as the shock absorber, because it protects us from the shock. Fine. So covering the axon will be a kind of sheet which is called as a myelin sheet. And from there, the message will be going into the last part of it, which is called as the nerve ending. Fine. It is called as the nerve ending. Now, at the end of the nerve ending, what happens? There will be the other neuron connected to it. It's not like only one neuron we have in our body. It's like million, trillions of neurons are there in our whole body. Now, it's like the process is happening so fast actually. So whatever one neuron has got, immediately they will be passing to the next, then third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So from one part to the other part, they will be keep on passing that. So immediately at the end of the one neuron, there will be second neuron. The same thing will happen. The second neuron will be receiving it. They will be giving to cyton. Then cyton will be giving to axon. Axon will be giving to the nerve ending. Then again the same process. So like this, the same process will be continuing until unless it is not reaching to the part which is called as the muscles. Fine. And the moment when they reach, when those signals reach or they connect to the they connect to the muscles, and what happens? These electrical form of signals get converted into which form of signals?
Chemical.
Very good. Chemical form of signal. So all the signals which were there in the form of the electrical signals, as soon as they reach to the muscles, when they touch the muscles, those electrical signals, they will be converted into the chemical signals. And now when they got converted into chemical signals, that is how we respond towards it. Fine. It is not when they are in the form of the electrical signal we are giving response. It is when they are converted into the chemical signal form, then we start giving the response towards it. That is why, like, what happened? We just take a lesser than the seconds to complete this whole process of this thing. Clear? So we have the dendrites. Dendrites will be receiving the information. They will be giving to cyton, which includes the cell board, which includes the cytoplasm and the nucleus. And then they will be giving to the axon, which is a long thread like a fiber. And then these axons are covered by a sheet, which is called as a myelin sheets. These myelin sheets will be protecting from the shock absorber. They will be acting as a shock absorber. And then at the end of this axon will be so many nerve endings present there. And once one neuron is being completed, there will be the second neuron which is available there. Then at the end of the second neuron, there will be third, fourth, fifth, sixth, so many like this will be available. For that, the transformation of the signals can be done in a very fast way. And once all the neurons get over, at the end, there will be the muscles where all the electrical impulse will be converted into the chemical forms of signals, right? So that is how the neurons will be acting, or they will be working. Am I clear, children? Ionisha,
Yes, ma'am.
Dharya, Arya,
Yes,
Moksha, Puriya, Aryan, Sudhamshu, Rizwana. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
One more important thing, the cell body, which includes the cytoplasm and the nucleus, they have the Golgi bodies in them. They have the mitochondria in them, and they have the endoplasmic in them. So whatever the normal organelles are there, like ribosome, Golgi bodies, mitochondria, these all are present there. Fine. So if they ask you in the form of the MCQ, you should mention yes, it is available. All the organelles are available in the where? In the cell body. And that is how they will be transferring the signals to the other parts. Fine.
Yes,
Then
ma'am.
the two neurons, like suppose this is a one neuron, this is a second neuron. Here, in between these two neurons, there will be a kind of the gap, or there will be kind of a junction, which is called as the synapse. Fine. So it is a kind of the junction at the end of that one, or maybe we can say between the two neuron, there will be a kind of the junction which is called as the synapse. Fine. So synapse basically is also important part for the board exams. So they usually ask to write the definition of the synapse. Synapse is what? It's a kind of the junctions between the two neurons. So it's a place where the two neurons will be connected together. Fine. So the space is not so large. Actually, it is very, very less. And because of that, what happened? The one neuron, tuck, they will be giving the information to the second neuron through that synapse. And then the second neuron will be giving to the third because of that synapse. So basically, that synapse is helping them to get connected to each other. And that is how they will be changing they will be sending the signals from one to the other neuron. Clear, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let us write now. Okay. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we will be starting with the definition of the neuron, or we can say what is neuron. So these, as I think already before I told you, from this chapter, the definitions are very, very important. The simple definitions are also very important. Fine, so learn them. So neurons are the fundamental, like we have the cell as a unit, right? Same way, the neurons are also the fundamental unit of transmitting the messages or transferring the messages. Fundamental unit of the nervous system, and they are specialized. Means the only work what they do is to transfer the messages, to transmit information to different parts of the body. So this definition, learn it as such. Don't change any words or letters somewhere, something. So neurons are the fundamental unit of the nervous system. They are specialized to transmit information to different parts of the body. Then, as like cell we say as a building block, same way, neurons are also the building block, but they are the building block for transferring the messages. So, neurons are the building blocks of the nervous system. They receive and transmit signals to different parts of the body. So they will be receiving and then they will be transferring the signals to the different parts of the body. Then this can be carried out either in the physical form or it can be carried out in the electrical form also. So this is carried out in both physical and electrical forms. So write this and then we will be going to the structure. Done, children, with this page?
Yes, ma'am, done.
Done, ma'am.
Okay. So now the structure of neuron. Talking about the structure, it will be like this. So these are what? They are the dendrites will be present in the upper part and they are responsible for transferring the messages. Fine. So here the upper part, this one, they are called as dendrites. So several dendrites will be there. Then here this center part is called as the nucleus. Surrounding the nucleus will be the cytoplasm, and these both together are called as the
Cell body.
Cyton or cell body, right? So these two together, either you can say it as cyton or you can say it as the cell body. So you can write the cell body. I don't have the space, so just write it down. Okay. Then here we have this center, a thin thread will be there. Very thin thread it is. I have made it actually still thick, but it will be very thin. So this thin thread is called as the axon. Yeah, it is called as the axon. Now covering this axon are the, you can see the structures. But I have made it like this, but
Myelin
actually
sheath.
it will be, yeah, myelin sheath. But it will be like this. They will be covered completely from the top. So this wire of the axon will be inside this box actually. Fine. So, but I have made it in such a way that so that you can see the axon. But actually, in reality, this thread will be inside this box like this. I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to say, children. So it will be kind of the box, and inside this threads will be there like this. And this are called as the myelin sheath. And then the down one here, this points, these ends are called as the nerve endings. So this is what the structure of the neuron will be. And this is also called as nerve cells. They are also called as nerve cells. So draw this diagram. And here, like this is one neuron, and at the end, as I told you, at the end of the nerve ending, here itself, the other neuron will be placed. So like this, sooner they are transforming the messages because they are placed very close to each other. Have you understood Huria, Sumukh, Ayunija, Triti, Dhairya, Arav,
Yes,
Arvind,
ma'am.
Rizwana,
Yes, ma'am.
Sudhamshu? Shall we go to the next one now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. neuron structure. So a neuron varies in shape. So it is not important that they will have the fixed shape. They can vary. Because like as humans also, like some are thin, some they are fatty, some they are like healthy, some they are fit and fine. So some they are dark in color. Same way the neuron also varies in shape and size depending on its function and location. So where they are located and what function are they doing? So depending on that, the shape can vary. So all neurons have three different paths. So what is
Ma'am, you're
common
not
in all
sharing the
the...
screen, ma'am.
Let me share it again. No, the screen is not visible.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So though the shape can vary depending upon the location and depending upon the function, but all the neurons will have the three different parts, which are the dendrites, cell body, and the axon. So these are the three different parts which definitely they will have them. So write this. So first one are the dendrites. They are the dendrites, very important part. They are the branch-like structure. So these are the branch-like structures that receives messages. Very important. You should use this word receives. And if they ask you in the form of the name of the following, then they give this word only. So name the part which receives the messages. So answer should be dendrites. So these are branch-like structures that receives messages from other neurons. So as I told you, there will be so many neurons, they will be connected together, and from them they will be receiving the messages, and then they allow the transmission of the messages. So after receiving, they will be giving it to the other parts of the neuron, which is a cell body, first of all. Then the second part is the cell body. So each neuron has a cell body with a nucleus. So what do they have? They have a cell body with the nucleus. Then they also have inside them the Golgi bodies, the ER, which is the endoplasmic reticulum. Then they have the mitochondria and other components also will be present in them. So note this first of all, these two.
Ma'am, can you once show the next page?
Hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Others also have done this.
Ma'am, please wait.
Okay. Okay, we'll go to the next one now. The next one is about the axon. Axon, they are the tube-like or very thin thread-like structures. Axon is a tube-like structure that carries electrical impulse. So what they will be doing, they will be carrying the electrical impulse from the cell body. So from the cell body, they will be taking it and then they will be giving it to the axon terminal. Axon terminal means the nerve ending. So they will be cell body to the axon terminals that pass the impulse to another neuron. So once it reaches to the axon terminal, then what they will be doing, they will be giving it to the another neuron. So these are the three major parts. Done, children?
Yes,
Done,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. So in the next class, we'll be discussing about the uh, types of the neuron. I think you might have heard also about the types of the neuron. Sensory neurons we have, the motor neuron we have, then the mixed neuron or the interneuron sometimes they are called as. So all these the different types of the neurons we will be discussing. And what's the difference between them? I think about the carrying of the message. What do either they carry the action response? So that is the main difference between different types of the neurons. So this we will be learning in the next class. Do you have any doubt, children?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, children, I will meet you in the next class.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye. Thank you. Bye, Ria.